Hello and welcome to our cottage garden. My name is Anna and you join me on a slightly cool September evening around dusk. The wind just picked up, but you join me for a cottage garden tour. I wanted to share our cottage garden with you kind of at the end of this season and before the leaves start to fall. So that's what we're going to be doing. So you are on the other side of our rose arbor. The morning glory has really taken over. So this year, this season, this is sort of our morning glory arch. None of them have bloomed yet though. Like these haven't bloomed at all, but they're all budded up. So the first year we were here, I planted tons of morning glory up another one of our structures, and we got like several blooms in November. So you never know. Some of our other morning glory is doing beautifully. These two here, so I guess the only ones that haven't been blooming yet are the heavenly blue. Not very heavenly in the blue department, but very, very pretty in terms of those heart-shaped leaves. But these two tripods that we have in the cottage borders, these are the long borders, they're beautiful. And every single morning we're greeted with all of these shining, smiley, glowing, happy morning glory faces. Pink and purple on this one, and then this one is like a blue and purple. Really gorgeous. Our borders are looking pretty happy. I mean, there's a few things that are looking a little tired, but really things are looking really lovely, and the bees and the hummingbirds are still visiting us all the time. We were able to visit Hilding, which I shared that here, a little tour of their beautiful formal gardens. And so I'll link it here if you haven't seen that. But we got to learn a lot about bees when we were there, and that was really, really interesting. So yeah, learning a little bit more about bees and things like that can help us connect a little bit deeper to the insects that are in our gardens. But our cottage garden has tons of, lots of vegetables and things that are doing really well. Our purple kale is really beautiful. I think this pairing of the sedum, this is an autumn joy sedum, with the purple kale, I think that's doing exactly what I wanted it to do. I love that. And these three colors, like the purple of the kale, this pink of the sedum, and then the glaucous foliage of the sedum, that's such a nice little pairing there. Some of our dahlias are doing beautifully, like this large dinner plate dahlia is doing well. And then some of the others, like this is, my husband was saying earlier today, like this is our biggest dahlia. It's so wide and chunky and happy. Let me see, maybe you can't see which one I'm talking about, but it's this one right here. This whole thing is a dahlia and a volunteer tomato that kind of made its way up, but it doesn't have any buds on it and it hasn't bloomed at all. I'm just wondering, oh, there's a bud. Hey, little bud. There's a couple, Bert. There's a couple. We may, he's going like that. We may yet get a few. Dahlias are like his favorite flower. Mine too. But yeah, things are looking great. The sedum this time of year just looks incredible. I love the autumn joys. And now that we've sort of shifted gears with the border and made that the repetition throughout, oh, it just looks beautiful. These little like pink, soft, gentle clouds throughout. Really, really lovely. And I think I want to move these phlox back. I do like having those taller things in the front, but they are afflicted with powdery mildew, not so much on this side, but more on that side. But also, I think having that repetition, we need that autumn joy kind of right where that other phlox is. So I think we might move that, and then it'll look kind of off to have this one in the front. So I think we're going to move these back. And as far as annuals go, I'm kind of like keeping you right here in the front for a minute, but I just want to share this with you. So the plain the blue salvia, that's one of those that I am just so happy that we have repeated. And they're just glorious. And the bees are just all over them. We just got a huge rain, so some things are a little bit flattened. But yeah, they're doing exactly what I love to do. And I just love that zingy blue color. It's just gorgeous. And I love the different, sort of texture that it provides. It's really, really beautiful. The salvias that we planted in the autumn container that I did, the like sort of moody autumn container, they are doing so well, and the hummingbirds go after them all the time. The sort of fuchsia mauve-y colored salvias. So I want to show you those really, really quickly before we continue our tour. Before I show you those beautiful salvias, I want to thank Landguard for sponsoring today's video. Earlier today, Bert and I put together our new 6 by 3 by 1 foot oval galvanized bed. Not because it takes two, it's super simple to install, but because it was a fun little afternoon activity to do together. A little about Landguard. They have served over 100,000 homes worldwide with their high-quality metal garden beds. What I love most is the spirit behind their name. Landguard is all about protecting the land we live on, while making sure our plants thrive in a safe, healthy environment. So unlike traditional wooden or plastic garden beds that can break down in extreme weather, Landguard's raised beds are made from high-quality galvanized stainless steel. This makes them super durable, rust-resistant, and capable of withstanding all types of weather. So I know some of you are experiencing heat waves right now in September, so whether it's scorching heat or a rainy day, your garden bed will hold up season after season. Another thing I love is that these beds are 100% non-toxic and eco-friendly. They've been tested to ensure that they won't leach any harmful chemicals into your soil, which is so important for growing healthy plants. The design is innovative too. The metal reflects heat instead of absorbing it, keeping your soil at an ideal temperature even during those hot summer days. These oval beds will come in handy when we start planting in spring next year, especially because of our rocky, rooty soil. But in the meantime, let's check in on the moody fall bed we planted a few weeks ago. The temperatures and the torrential downpours have done nothing to the bed. It still looks brand new and the plants are loving it. Absolutely glorious. If you're just starting out a garden or looking to take your gardening to the next level, check out Landguard Raised Garden Beds. You can find the link in the description below. Now let's get back to the tour. So we also have tons of roses. You know, they're kind of going in and out of bloom and they've had some issues, but they are generally, the plants themselves, looking pretty happy compared to roses in this area, which just don't really like it here. But yeah, they're looking pretty good. Again, especially those Mary Rose Austins, just gorgeous. Here's one of those right now, a very soft, beautiful buttercup rose, gorgeous. Yeah, lovely scent. And those have a few more buds and yeah, not great in terms of roses, but it's been a really good year, all things considered. The phlox is just beautiful. I love that. I think that is so stunning. I love how tall they get. And I mean, it's a little deceptive. I seem much taller than I am, I'm told, but these are actually, yeah, but they're really tall compared to my petite stature. But anyway, yeah, and everything else is looking really happy. I cut back the Nepeta and then it flushed back and it's looking good and happy and smelling delightful as ever. Let's see, what else do I want to talk to you about? You know, the petunias are doing really well considering last year they were done at this point. So I'm really, really happy with them. Again, we just got so much heavy rain. So this is sort of like not doing them justice, but they have been looking really, really gorgeous. And it's really nice to sort of have them coming over the path like that. I think that's beautiful. Do you think that's a bear? Do you want me to go check?
Was it in our backyard?
I don't know, I just heard something. Okay, I think we're good. A few years ago, our neighbor down there had an issue with a bear trying to get into their trash can, and that's sort of what that was sounding like. So hopefully that's all good, but keep your eyes out. If you see something behind me, just let me know. That'd be great too. Let's see, where were we? Not a great year for the verbena. It wasn't loving, I think, how much rain we got a little bit later in the season and that it wasn't as sort of sunny and hot. We got a lot of hot days and it really was a beautiful summer, but I just don't think the conditions this year were like perfect for the verbena, but we still got a decent amount of color throughout. The lamb's ear is looking beautiful, the stachys, gorgeous. None of our cosmos have bloomed yet. They are looking huge and beautiful in the back of the border, as you can see, but they're just not blooming yet. We have some stuff on the hill, you don't need to show it, but there's like some sedum on the hill that's blooming and the hydrangea and everything like that, but yeah, it's looking good. Over here we have some nice things. Our Thomas Edison dahlias have finally started blooming, and I've been picking those for arrangements and things, and that's so nice. You know, the funny thing is they're not as big as last year. Last year they were huge. I mean, just enormous. I mean, it was impossible to look at the garden without your eye just kind of going to them, because they were just these huge, you know, they really lived up to their name of dinner plate dahlias. They were just enormous. And this year they're beautiful and lovely, but they just don't have that same, they're not as large. So, but so gorgeous. I love that. A few of you have asked what this is. This is a boxwood pillar. Really lovely. Let's see, we've cut back a few things. We have some foxgloves that are blooming late, which is like, that's fun. I like having, you know, foxgloves are one of my favorite flowers. So having them blooming as a, you know, succession throughout the year is really nice. Here we have some nice things that are looking good. You know, this Mini Vista Indigo Supertunia is so pretty. It's just such a lovely one. And it's just been doing so well filling in this area. You know, I had read that it's, you know, got a tidier habit. These mini vistas are, you know, a little bit tidier than things like the jazzberry, which you can see here. This is a Supertunia Vista, and this one just goes, you know, from here, and it would be even farther out, all the way over to here. It's all the way back here. It's right there. So that's like my kind of as wide as I can go. Let's see if I can get back. Oh, Cirque du Soleil. Ooh. All right. Then we have these beautiful ageratums. I always get that wrong, but ageratums. I really like those. You know, they stay super compact. So that's something to note, but they're really nice. I think the Dusty Miller that we did along here is really beautiful. And I think around this season, Dusty Miller is so nice to add in. I think honestly, fall and winter are sort of perfect for Dusty Miller, because at this time they kind of have like a little bit of a spooky kind of look to them. They look a little bit like the skeleton of something. Like you could look at this as sort of like the skeleton of a Christmas tree if you wanted to do something fun like that for an autumnal arrangement. But they're really fun. So you could do like black baubles on it or something, like very fun. Or they could also look like spider webs a little bit, bubbles coming out of a cauldron, just very fun. And they're, you know, this is when they're the biggest. So that's like sort of that would be a fun one to do. If you can find any Dusty Miller in your local garden center. Our garden centers here have just sort of like, kind of stopped selling stuff. They're not really, because this season is so short. You know, our first frost is just in a couple of weeks. So it's not, this part of this season is very short for us, fall, even though this is sort of like the, you know, kind of like what this area is known for in the Northeast here in New England. It's sort of known for the autumn. But in terms of gardening, the garden centers are like, we're powering down. But yeah, I think this is really lovely. And then for winter, it can kind of mimic snow, add a little bit of sparkle. So yeah, really pretty. Look at this. It's already begun. That's a pretty one, isn't it? Oh, I like that. What's the name of that? There's this technique, it's a printing technique where you take this and put it on some cotton or linen or something like that. And then hammer it in, and you can kind of use it as a die or like a stamp. That's a pretty one. That would be gorgeous for that, because that just fell. So yeah, our ivory halo dogwoods are looking stunning. So lovely. These play in the blues. I mean, look at that. That's one plant. Again, starts here, goes all the way over to there. I just love it. It's a little wild, this one. A little Medusa looking with their snakes coming out, but it's really beautiful. A lot of the cutback that we did of some of the perennials is really nice. You know, this little geum, I just think it looks so tidy and sweet. And then you can really see the foliage. The autumn foliage on this geum is really pretty. Can you see that one? See how you can kind of see that little autumn leaf starting to come into the geum? But yeah, things are doing pretty well up here. I love this Limelight Prime hydrangea. And I think the pairing of that with the hyssop there is gorgeous. Some of the hyssops over here are looking pretty. this one, this soft blue lilac-y kind of Nepeta color is really gorgeous. And that with this Wizard of Oz is just beautiful. I love that. So yeah, that's kind of been kicked over in the storm, but that's really nice. The bluebell dahlia. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is such a beautiful dahlia. This one's done, but it's sort of this gorgeous, it's not blue, but it's like a lilac-y color with a mauve on the underside of the petals. Gorgeous. So we have here our perennial mum. This is a really beautiful deep purple one, sort of a midnight color. Gorgeous. It's all budded up, totally budded up. Looking a little bit unhappy toward the base, like something fungal's got it. But yeah, like I said, we had quite a wet year, especially later on when I think some of the plants were really excited for sunshine. Mother Nature did not abide. So things are, yeah, feeling happy. I love that when everything is full like this. It's really, really nice. Really nice. So over here, the sedum over here is, stone crop here is on the smaller side. It's a soft pink. It's not my favorite because it blooms so quickly, and then the blooms kind of turn sort of a brownish color, sort of taupey, I guess, could be really pretty. And then the leaves look a little, they start to yellow. They look like they're getting too much water. They look like they're missing out on some nutrients. They just don't look great. So yeah, I think I might move these maybe onto the hillside so they can get a little bit more sun, a little bit better drainage than they do in here. But oh my gosh, the Brawalia and our double impatiens, this is the Wisteria Rockapolco double impatient. I love that. And it's starting to turn yellow with the season, which that's kind of nice. Hopefully that's yellowing from the cold and not like some unknown thing. But it did, when the temperature started to drop, that started happening. So yeah, but the Brawalia here, Endless Illumination Brawalia, just so, so pretty. And these have been so, this part of the border has been so great. It was an experiment to put these in, and I definitely want to repeat it because I love it. Absolutely love it. The lamium all over the place has been incredible this year. I want to keep that up. I want to keep dividing and spreading the lamium. So maybe we'll do a video about that. One of you was asking me about these ivory halo dogwoods and asking me for sort of the care video about them. If you'd like me to do that, I can definitely do that. It would probably be easier for me to do that when, like at the time when I need to do that. So maybe around March. But yeah, essentially they're so low maintenance. I mean, I just go back around in March and I cut out maybe half of the stems because it's the new growth. It's the new stems that have that really vibrant red color. So you want to, every few years, just make sure that you're replenishing your sort of stock. Make sure that you're cutting it back so that you have those new branches forming. Some people cut it back, the whole thing back every 3 years, or you can go in and kind of selectively prune. You want to prune at the base so that it's totally new shoots that are coming up. But yeah, really, really nice. And I cut these back really hard. And look at that. I mean, it's like, look how thankful it is. It's huge and full and fluffy. And I just think that's such a lovely backdrop for all of our plants. It's really, really fun. Look at our hydrangea standards. I'm so glad we did this. This is the Pinky Winky hydrangea standard. This is probably gonna bother you. I like snapping the twigs. So let me throw this. But yeah, this Pinky Winky is just gorgeous. And I love how it starts as this beautiful, soft, creamy white. And now, and then it sort of slowly kind of has this ombre effect where it slowly turns pink. And now the whole thing is just this, it's like the sweetest fall colors. That would be such a lovely choice for fall colors, is sort of a soft green, a mauvey dark pink, and then a red with those red stems. If you could do something with those colors for fall, that would be so gorgeous. There's even a spider web on it for fall. Spooky season. Let's see, what else is looking really good? Oh, so our window boxes, I think they turned out really, really well. I think next year, I don't know, can you see them from where I am? So I think next year what I might do, I love the begonias. I think white begonias in these window boxes are really the way to go. I was worried that our little frog, we have a little frog that like sleeps in the leaves and lives in there. And I was worried that he didn't come back this year because I hadn't really seen him. But then I think it was last night, he was just like on the flowers, just crawling around in the rain. It was so lovely. And I realized that I had been looking at the one that he was at, the window box he was in last year. And he was actually in the window box that I always sit outside of. So that was really sweet, instead of one that's a little bit farther away. Anyway, that was really, really lovely and made me happy to see our little guy back. But I think next year, instead of that really pretty sort of, I think it's called Main Street Coleus with the ruffled edges. It's a dark red with a lime green ruffle on the edge. I think I might do more of just a solid leaf next year. We'll see. We'll see what I kind of decide on, but I think maybe just a solid leaf instead of something that looks a little more ruffly, because I think that just really stands out and they end up looking a little bit like roses to me, like little rosettes to me. I think it's really, really pretty. But I love that we put these sun patience here. They look fantastic. Like, look at that. I just think that is gorgeous. And it really worked out the way I was hoping it would, where it just sort of looked like a skirt of flowers at the base of our beautiful hydrangea standards. Here are our Dichondra Silver Falls. I just love this. I'm so glad we did this. I really love that. And I know I was talking about how this paired really well with the hydrangeas in our last video, I think. But even more so now when these are darker in color, that silvery blue with that kind of darker dusty pink. That is so pretty to me. I love that. Look at that. Look at that. Lovely. But yeah, oh my goodness, another little spider wheel. But yeah, things are looking really good. Yeah, every time we get a storm, we have tons of stuff that's fallen in. You know, our hostas didn't get messed with this year, which makes me feel really, really encouraged. They were really left alone by the slugs. So that's really great. Back here, you know, things are looking happy, a little bit free, whimsical, we'll say. A little bit free-spirited back here. This morning glory vine is, again, all budded up, but I'm just not convinced that she's going to bloom. This is the same one that we had the first year that we were here, same variety growing up here, and again, it didn't bloom until November. But look, tons of clusters of flowers, but of buds, I mean, but no flowers yet. We have a little hummingbird house here that we put in to encourage our little friends, but I think they're quite picky about where they want to live. Oh my gosh, look! The morning glory. It is going to bloom. It's already starting. Nice. All right. So come through here. Not much has changed. And I'm really hoping this can kind of be our before. So let's come in here and just take a look around and see what can happen. Yeah, we'll see. We do have Thuya greens in here that I put in the first year we were here, and they actually look really good for a shady garden, for a shadier garden. This is our Thunbergia, and it is flowering a little bit more on the other side, but that one looks good, so thanks for your recommendations for that one. Yeah, I just wanted to sort of walk you around in the garden and show you what it's looking like at the end of the season, sadly. But before, you know, the leaves start to change, we're still going to be, you know, doing things. I'll try and bring you along for autumn content and things like that, but please do let me know what you would like to see more of. I think I might just sort of maybe show you around New England, show you some areas that I think are really, really beautiful. A few of you are asking for some more like field trips to different gardens, so maybe we'll try to arrange something like that. But do let me know what you'd like to see more of. I'm going to throw this again because I'm going to keep fiddling with it. yeah, do let me know what you would like to see more of, because it's been so much fun hanging out with you this whole gardening year. I've just loved doing this and being able to kind of track our garden and the little things we've been doing and things like that. So yeah, thanks so much for being here. Thanks again to Landguard for sponsoring this video. How cool is that? Like if you like, subscribe if you are not already, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Okay. No bears.